The quiet between us. I don't remember the exact moment it started. I think that's part of why it took me so long to notice. If something breaks suddenly, you pay attention. You react. But this didn't feel like breaking. It felt more like things settling into place without me agreeing to it. Like a room getting quieter because people slowly stopped talking. We had routines. Nothing unusual. Most couples do. We made tea in the evenings. Sat together. Sometimes talked, sometimes didn't. At first, the quiet felt earned. Comfortable. Like proof that we didn't need to fill every moment with words. But at some point, the quiet changed its tone. I didn't know how else to describe it then. I just knew it felt different in my body. Less warm. Less forgiving. He would ask how my day was. Always the same way. I answered the same way too. Fine. It wasn't a lie. I wasn't unhappy at work. I wasn't overwhelmed. I just wasn't bringing anything home with me anymore. No thoughts. No details. Nothing that might slow us down. And he never asked again. I used to think that meant he trusted me. Or that he understood me. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe we were both just protecting the shape of our days. At night, we went to bed at the same time, but we didn't arrive there together. He turned toward the wall. I lay on my back. Sometimes our feet touched. Sometimes not. I listened to his breathing change as he fell asleep and told myself that this was what long relationships looked like. Still, there was this sentence that kept forming in my head. I don't feel close to you anymore. I never said it. Every version of it sounded like an accusation. Like I was blaming him for something I couldn't properly explain. He wasn't distant. He wasn't unkind. He wasn't doing anything wrong. That made it feel unreasonable to ask for more. So I stayed quiet. I became good at staying quiet. I didn't even notice how much energy it took until one morning, waiting for the bus, I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a receipt. It was old and creased. From a cafe we used to go to on Sundays. I stared at it longer than necessary. I tried to remember when we'd stopped going. There was no argument. No decision. One Sunday became two, then none at all. That's when it hit me. Not sharply. Just enough to make me uncomfortable. Things didn't end for us. They faded. That night, I came home later than usual. I took the longer way. I walked slowly. I didn't check my phone. I wanted to see how it felt to delay returning, and I didn't like how easy it was. When I walked in, he looked up and asked if everything was okay. I said yes. He smiled, relieved, and went back to what he was doing. That relief stayed with me all evening. Heavy. Like I had reassured him at my own expense. We ate dinner. We talked about ordinary things. A colleague. A news story. Something funny he'd seen online. I nodded. I smiled. I contributed just enough. I realized I was managing the mood. Making sure nothing felt tense. Making sure nothing demanded attention. Later, while washing dishes, I watched our hands move efficiently, never touching. We worked well together. That was the problem. We worked. In the bathroom, before bed, I looked at myself and thought, I've become someone who doesn't interrupt the peace. I didn't know when that started. Or why I had decided that peace mattered more than honesty. That night, I lay awake longer than usual. I thought about the version of myself who used to say things as they came. Not dramatically. Just honestly. I wondered when I decided that some truths were too small to matter, and others too big to risk. The next morning, I woke up before him. The room was quiet. Pale light on the wall. His breathing steady. I reached out and placed my hand on his arm. I didn't shake him. I didn't mean anything by it. I just wanted to feel the weight of him there. He stirred and opened his eyes. "Morning," he said. "Morning." That was it. No conversation. But I left the bed feeling different. Not lighter. Just more awake. All day, the thought stayed with me. Not the sentence I hadn't said, but the feeling underneath it. The sense that if I kept choosing silence, it would eventually choose for me. That evening, we made tea again. Same time. Same mugs. Same routine. When the kettle clicked off, I didn't move right away. My heart was beating faster than it should have for something so small. I didn't rehearse it. I didn't soften it. I just said, "Can we sit a little closer tonight?" He looked at me, confused for a second. Then he nodded. "Yeah. Of course." We moved our chairs closer. Our arms touched. It felt awkward at first, like breaking an unspoken rule. But then it settled. The tea tasted the same. Nothing else changed. No conversation followed. No emotional release. But something important had happened. I understood then that closeness doesn't disappear in dramatic moments. It disappears when you keep choosing what's easiest instead of what's true. And it doesn't come back all at once either. Sometimes, it starts with one small sentence you finally allow yourself to say. And sometimes, that's enough to begin. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more amazing stories on our channel. See you soon.